なんだろう、これ。シーナ。
War is a delicate topic, but that does not stop it from being one of the most popular settings to have in any form of media. Whether if it's about the glorious victory against an evil opposition, depicting the hardships and sacrifice one must make in order to succeed, or discussing about the cruel reality of one, it's everywhere. But the one I'm going to talk about is a rather unique piece of work, one that I have personally never really seen before, and it's coming from a shoujo manga.
君が死ぬまで恋をしたい。
My wish is to fall in love until you die is the title of said manga. Shina, our young protagonist, resides in a school that takes in orphans and train them in the way of magic to send them to war. Shina is ordinary, she's weak, her grades are average, and she's nothing more than a mundane girl. One day, Shina wakes up to find out that her roommate unceremoniously died in battle. Announced emotionlessly at the start of class, Shina was disturbed by the fact that everything carries on as usual, the students talking about the rumors of a powerful secret weapon casually, even though one of them just passed away. After cleaning up her roommate's belongings, Shina goes out to get something to eat, just to have a chance encounter with another girl. She was a short, hooded figure, her whole body covered in blood. Shina ended up not liking the girl, disturbed by her childish cheery demeanor, despite returning from war with the blood of her enemies on her face. The girl is suddenly taken away by the school nurse, just to be introduced as a new student in Shina's class, as Mimi, the rumored ultimate secret weapon who becomes her new roommate. From here, Shina tries to live by her school life of learning the art of magic and murder, while living together with a girl, who is a weapon, that cannot be killed. The manga is unique in the sense that despite having a theme about war, you never actually get to see a lot of fighting. It talks about the ones who aren't in the front lines, in this case, the average Shina who is the least likely to be sent to war, and her intricate relationship with Mimi, who is the immortal super weapon that gets sent every single time. Instead, it's focused on the relationship between the characters, as there's not much of an overarching plot, with the characters serving as the focal point of the story. In the shoes of Shina, a blonde girl is effective as a civilian in her setting, someone that would not change the outcome of the war by any means, crosses path with Mimi, the ace in a hole, the one that can, and is expected to take the brunt of battle. The connection between the two is brilliant. Their conflict arises from their differing perspectives on how to approach war. Shina wants to support Mimi by improving herself, while Mimi wants to protect Shina by keeping her out of harm's way. A reasonable conflict, one that is not conceived out of stupid miscommunication or a poor mistake, that Shina was upset that Mimi was pushing herself too hard, and Mimi wanting Shina to remain weak as she is and do nothing. It stems from the characters. Two human beings doing what they think is best for the sake of the other. A fight between the two that gets resolved by being open and communicating with each other, almost like mature adults. Who would have thought? Shina and Mimi's friends play a role as well. The soft and kind, almost motherly Re. Seelen, the straightforward ace with a heart of gold. They all either serve as a foil to Shina and Mimi, or even just other characters around them, in more meaningful ways than one. Foils. They are those who highlights another character's trait by contrast. In Kimishinu, however, it is used to contrast character relationships with each other. With each pairing, you get a glimpse at what could have been done differently with each character, influenced by their personality or actions that led to them to what they are now, directly highlighting the other duo. Take Seelen, Re, and Shina, Mimi for example. Seelen wants to fight, with Re fully supporting her wishes. Mimi was merely born to fight. Shina against the idea of Mimi overexerting herself, getting herself hurt all the time. As for their differences, I think it's best if you were to figure it out yourself. You might be surprised at how well everyone all mesh in together, like a jigsaw puzzle, fitting together to form a cohesive and emotionally impactful story.
いつ、嘘だよ。怪我なんてしてないよ。
This manga is distressing in many ways. It's bleak, with many chapters concerning the grief of loss, along with dealing with it, others poking at the very consequences of being immortal, and what it implies. Mimi isn't invincible. In the end, she's still human. She feels pain, like everyone else, and her immortality is not presented as an advantage, but rather as a burden. Her repeated resurrections are disturbing, and the manga explores the physical and emotional toll it takes on her. The question of is it acceptable to have one person suffer immense pain and anguish so others don't have to. It's worth noting that the lot of these are accomplished under only 20 chapters, Kimishinu achieving something so impactful that doesn't feel rushed in the slightest is something a lot of other works fail in their entire runtime. Kimishinu is a tragedy. Not in the Shakespeare sense of one, where the protagonist usually loses their self-reason due to their circumstances that results in their demise, but precisely because of the protagonist making the best out of their situation. Scenes where Shinu and Mimi gets to just have fun and enjoy themselves together. Things like strolling around the school, making flower crowns, baking cakes and cookies, all painfully simple and naive, before Mimi has to go to war again. It's not dark for the sake of it. It's not bleak, because the world they live in sucks. In fact, it's beautiful. This ties back into the concept of immortality too. It is only because people die do they get to understand, to cherish, to live life. This is exactly why this manga is so endearing. Only because of death do people value life. War-themed works aren't new. But to me, My Wish Is to Fall in Love Until You Die certainly stands out from most. War sucks, undeniably so, but Kimishinu is one of a kind in the way it is presented. There are no cool fight scenes. There's no glorifying it in any way, because it's inherently not so. It's just Shinu and Mimi. Their relationship is genuine, focusing on the connection it has with each other, a product of the two truly caring about each other in their own fashion. Finally, there's something to be addressed. Shoujo manga has the reputation of just being the perfect romance story between two women. Maybe more. Maybe with a male or two in the mix. What it is, commonly known as the genre with an emphasis on the idealistic love. There are always outliners, but none of them really reinvents the wheel. Kimishinu proves that wrong. It shows that shoujo could be much, much more. A niche that is capable of realistic, even mature characters packed with heavy emotional weight. A book that is capable of heart-wrenching writing and tear-jerking scenes. A narrative that tells a great story, which just happens to have two girls fall in love with each other.